Starting the recording.
Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of World 1-1 Podcast. I am your host, Larry, the Exalted. Joining me, as always, are my partners in crime, Eddie, Beanie Hat V.
Hello, everybody. Oh.
Yeah, see, that shit's contagious.
No
Look
yawning.
What you did. And piping up in the back there is Corey in Ultra High Def Hudson Derrick.
I'm here. It's actually only 720p, but I don't care.
And also joining us this week is Jesse the Body Douglas.
Hey, what's up, guys?
The body?
Yeah, we're spoofing off of Jesse Ventura.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jesse knew what was up. Jesus, Corey, get with it.
I don't watch wrestling. I'm sorry.
I don't either, but it's a politics thing now, too. It has been for years.
Another thing I'm really into is politics.
And conspiracy theories.
That, too. So.
Which reminds me, what the heck happened to Jake the Snake?
He probably got eaten by a snake. Didn't you see Anaconda?
No, I have not. I heard it's a horrible movie.
It probably is.
But
I don't know. Ice Cube's in it. Can't be that bad.
Jennifer, he was telling snakes to get off the mother effing plane.
Oh, that snake's in the plane.
That's the wrong black guy. Gosh. There's only 5 black guys in Hollywood. You need to keep track.
I know, but...
And
Morgan
Jesse
Freeman,
says they all look alike.
Ice Cube,
Samuel
L.
Jackson,
they all...
Chris Hart,
Tyler Perry.
and Tyler Perry.
I'm saying they all look like Jake.
I don't think Tyler Perry gets to qualify as a black guy, considering most of his movies he's not playing a guy.
Well, there's movies that he has played as the guy instead of Medea.
He was in Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. He was Baxter Stockman. Gosh.
So, Jesse joining us from the NGR family today. We're going to start with you. What have you been playing this week?
Actually not too much this week. Last week I played I played a million things last week, but this week, I played some Sea of Thieves, and I picked up Castle of Heart for Switch, and I've been playing that lately.
I have not seen this. I need to hear more about this. What is this game that I have apparently fucking missed?
Well, I mentioned it to Moose and Matt that they'd probably want to pick it up, but it's basically like if Dark Souls was a 2.5D side scroller, and like basically like what it is you're this knight, you fall in love with this girl, this sorcerer comes and turns you to stone, and then a tear falls from her eye and falls on you, and then you're able to come back, to life, but you're still made of stone. And so as you're going through the maps, you've got to take out guys and destroy things, and they have stuff to replenish your health, because you're made of stone. As you're progressing, your life is slowly draining. So like you have to basically kill people and things to replenish your health as you go. So you want to keep on progressing, basically.
So it's got that pressure switch on you to keep you from repetrifying all the way. Yeah,
and then like you can dual wield weapons. You can have like a sword in one hand and a crossbow in the other at some point, because you got to use the crossbow to like shoot down lanterns that will, that have fire in them, and you can make it fall on the enemies to burn them.
Nice.
And it's really funny. Instead of like in Dark Souls, you got to dodge, a lot.
Yeah.
You do have a dodging move in this game, but it's more of just like a dodge roll. In this game, like, basically you can jump on top of a person and then you collapse them to the ground, and you kind of stand on them and they just stay there until you jump off of them, and then you can jump to an area to basically get positioned to start attacking them again. Because like Dark Souls, you can't just keep on swinging at them and not take damage if you don't like try to avoid getting hit or whatever. So it's pretty difficult. For the most part, it plays well, but there is some a small latency in pushing buttons, and and it transferring over to your actions in game. But it's the only time that it's really noticeable is like you've got there's a section early in the game where you're kind of sliding down a roof, and you've got to kind of like hit things and stuff and try to avoid things as you're kind of sliding down.
Okay.
And then that eventually ends. But like that's the only part so far that I've gotten to that was kind of noticeable.
So it's kind of like a forced screen scroll.
Yeah. So, but I like it. It was only $15.
That's not bad.
So,
That's not bad.
Yeah, I got that, and then I picked up SteamWorld Dig, the original one, for
Ooh,
$2.
Good call.
Yeah, I got it for $2 because it was on sale for $4 something. It might still be. And then I had over 200 points to trade in for a couple of bucks. So
nice.
So I only ended up paying like $220 something for it or whatever. So
nice. Let's say we've talked about this on numerous occasions on here, but that's the SteamWorld game that I go back to. I know for a fact that 2 is objectively better, but 1 is the one that I pull up every time because it's got that just cathartic, relaxing thing for me that 2 somehow does not.
Yeah, and it's funny because I actually played it for the first time with 2. Like, playing 2 was the first time I had played 1. And because I always knew it existed, but it was kind of one of those things where, like, throughout my lifetime of playing games, there's been a lot of time periods where I've been pretty, like, not really interested in a lot of, too much variety, I guess. But like over the past couple of years, I've kind of got more into playing different kinds of games. So
I think part of it too is that the first SteamWorld feels a little more pure and distilled than 2. So I mean, it's going from 2 to 1, it's going to feel really bare bones. But for me, going from 1 to 2 felt like they just jammed in so much stuff. And I'm like, I just want to dig.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like all the power-up stuff, like all the different kinds of tools that you had in the second one. I mean, they were fine, but it's just like, after a while, it's just like, do I really need this many things to do, essentially do the same thing anyways?
Oh yeah, and a lot of the stuff and the upgrades in 2 were just entirely optional as well. Versus what you're getting in 1 is all necessary to progress, save for 1.
Okay. All right.
So,
and then
will just help you scratch the completionist itch.
Yeah, and then basically I finished Portal, so I heard you guys talking about playing it and stuff and doing that, so I decided why not play through it again. So I think this is like the 6th or 7th time I beat it now. So
I've lost count how many times I've gone through Portal. So right.
Never gets sickening.
Right, and did I hear Corey cheering you on there? There's some Sea of Thieves this week.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm looking to play that some more, but
it's so much fun.
I've been hearing some real split opinions on this. This is not one that I've sunken into, no pun intended. But it just, I remember looking at it at E3 last year, I think it was even, compared to the other piratey game that was being shown, and looking at Sea of Thieves going, this just looks slow and uninteresting to me. It looked aimless. And am I off the mark, or has that changed?
Here's the thing about Sea of Thieves is like, so many people I feel like went in thinking that it was going to be Pirate Destiny, including me. Like I really thought that, like, you know, you're going to have a level that you were grinding towards, and you got loot to, like, as you gained better loot, you fitted your pirate with better loot, and you became a more powerful pirate. And actually, this game is more something like, it's more of a survival game, more like I want to say like something like Rust on PC. I don't know if you guys have ever watched any of that or just anything, but like, you gather materials to store on your ship, and you go on quests with your friends and taking care of your ship while heading out on a quest, which Jesse knows I'm the best ship manager of all time. Like, you just sail and you find treasure, and you turn in your loot, and you get gold that you can then buy better gear, or not better gear, but like more cosmetic style gear, and then you go out and do it again, which, like, that gameplay loop is really, really simple. But as you complete quests and progress through the game, there's an end game where you become a legendary pirate, and then that's where, like, all this like, you can become stronger, get better weapons, get better swords and stuff. And I think that the main draw of this game is, I feel like this game is definitely built for streaming. It's definitely built for streamers, right? To go out with friends and just have a pirate adventure or whatever. Yeah. But the gameplay loop is simple, but the interactions you have with your crew and other pirates and just other enemies and stuff in general is what makes this game fun. I don't know how... It's not a game that we're going to spend 100 hours in, I don't think, unless they start regularly adding content. But yeah, for now, like, for like a 20 to 25 hour experience with Jesse and Ed and Jesse's friend Pat last night was like, it was really fun just playing together and just learning the mechanics of the game and learning how the game works. And, you know, we ended our stream last night with we were trying to infiltrate this fortress, and we just found a whole bunch of powerful enemies that we just couldn't fight off. And I don't know if it's because we weren't legendary pirates or we didn't have the right stuff or not. Jesse would know more because Jesse's been playing this game since almost
3
since
weeks ago.
The beginning. Yeah, I've been playing it since the
beta.
Closed beta started. I almost got in when it was like only very select few people would play it. Like, and you could have got a chance to play it with like the developers and stuff like that.
So like alpha.
Yeah. I almost got into that, but it was kind of one of those things where I had it downloaded, but it was just like randomly, you know, for a couple of hours a day. If you were available and seeing that it was open, you could quick jump into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it turns out what we found is basically the area that I guess no one had found during the betas and stuff like that. And it's basically is like this door that you need a key to go through. That's on this like island that's just basically covered with skeletons and stuff like that shooting at your ships and stuff. And but we needed the key. You know, you needed to be a certain status to get the key to go through that door. And I don't know yet what's through that door. Like, I haven't heard anything about it really. But
right on. And Corey, what's been spinning in your disc tray? What's been in your cartridge slot?
Oh, jeez. Well, besides Sea of Thieves and me struggling like crap through Portal, which probably by the time this episode goes up, Larry, you and
we'll be recording Minus World when this goes up.
Yeah, so Larry and I decided Portal was going to be the first game, and I recorded my playthrough of Portal just because, like, I thought if somebody wanted to come in and watch Minus World but didn't actually have access to the game we were playing or talking about, if we record Let's Plays of the game, theoretically, they could just watch the Let's Plays of the game to get ready for the episode on Friday, right? Well, let's just say that this episode of Portal is just going to have all kinds of edits to make it look like I'm not as dumb as I am. So,
Corey, I posted the full game beaten in 2 halves on my YouTube. You can borrow it.
Yeah.
Just borrow mine.
Yeah, sure. But anyways, I like Portal. It's fun. We'll talk about it on
I would say we'll go deeper on.
But as this being my first time playing, and it's an interesting game. I like the idea of the game. I'm not sure. I think everybody says Portal 2 is better, so maybe once we get into Portal 2.
Portal 2 is definitely meatier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Portal 2 takes everything that everybody loves about Portal 1 and just gives you exponential amounts more of it.
Okay.
And more character building. It's
Yeah,
just that's what makes it, in my opinion, so much better. There's just more characters,
more personality, more humor, more puzzles, more mechanic. It's more of everything. It's awesome.
Yeah. So I mean, let's see what else. I was playing something else too, but I forget. I played some. Ed and I played some Wii U this weekend. We played some Captain Toad.
Nice.
And some Super Mario 3D World. And let's see, what else was there?
GameCube.
Yeah, I played a lot of GameCube games. We talked about that last week, though.
Yeah.
What else? There was something else big I was playing that I have to look at myself. I don't remember. I do remember. Halo Wars 2 I started.
Really?
Because I signed up for Game Pass.
There you go.
And I wanted to play some Halo Wars 2 because I love Halo Wars 1. And I played through the first mission just because I didn't really have a lot of time and really forgot how fun Halo Wars was. It's fun. I like it.
I like RTS in theory, but I'm never any good at it. So I usually stay away from it.
I like Portal, but I'm not good at it. I'm not smart enough to solve the puzzles. Gosh, dude, Chamber 18 was just it gave me a swift kick in the nuts.
Yeah, it's a lot of spatial thinking, which is something that I gear towards very well. So I mean, if spatial thinking is not your thing, then I can definitely understand some of the struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, Larry, I don't know if you know, but I ended up getting. It wasn't something I was interested in, but I did get the Bridge Builder Portal.
Yeah, how is that?
That game is actually harder than Portal.
Really?
Way harder. Like, there's just so much more planning and thinking. Like, I'm stuck on an area. I haven't even picked it back up because I don't know what the heck to do. And I don't want to look it up.
It looked very engineer-centric.
Yeah, it's much more difficult than Portal by far. But it's because you have to think a whole different way than Portal, you know.
Right.
There's much more going into it. But yeah, continue. I just was, that game is so hard.
I say, my understanding is that there's a whole series of the bridge instructor stuff, and the Portal one is just like a flavored offshoot, basically.
Yeah, and I honestly know nothing about any of them. The only reason this one piqued my interest is just because of the whole Portal thing. So
yeah, so right on.
Let's see what else. Oh, I have a copy of my cousin wrote a novel, and it's out, like he's releasing it tonight at midnight, and I have a copy of it, so I'm pretty excited to read that. I guess I could give it a shout out. It's called Killers, and it's available in paperback or on Amazon Kindle. So it's
nice.
Yeah, I'm really excited to read it. He's been working on this book for like 6 or 7 years. He's been writing this book, and you know, he just had a baby like 2 weeks ago, maybe. So I can't believe he finally finished it. First of all, and the fact that it's published and out is like mind blowing to me. But yeah, I'm excited to read that. So I guess I don't know if I'll be playing games next week. I'm going to try to read this. So it's called Killers. It's on Amazon. I linked it to the NGR Facebook page. So if you want,
fair enough.
Is it like a murder? Is it like a murder mystery type thing?
If you want me to read the description of the book to you, I can. It's right in front of me.
Go for it.
Okay. All John ever wanted was to be normal, but the grisly murder of his parents when he was just a child left something terrible brewing inside of him. John was a killer, a fact he'd long accepted as he now lived on the streets, looking for a place he belonged in this world. On a night that seems like fate, while on a train heading west, a stranger intervenes as John is on the verge of his most recent crime. His name is Professor James Conrad, and he asks John to come live with him and a group of young serial killers he has taken under his wing. Together, they search for a purpose in their murderous ways.
Nice.
Sounds cool. It's like a Dexter meets Wanted type thing. So that's the vibes I'm getting.
Right on. And Eddie, what have you been playing this week?
Quiet Edward. He's been awesome today.
I was gonna say it's creepy. You've usually piped up by now. You're starting to weird me out a little here, Eddie.
Why? I didn't.
Eddie's hiding there in the corner of his room plotting.
Okay, he's
the real killer.
Ridiculously
Eddie's gonna come
crazy.
over and like kill us in our sleep. It's always the quiet ones.
Oh boy. That's how babies are made. Ba-dum-bum.
I guess. Okay, I guess I'll go. So I'm going to start with Switch. Picked up Guitaro. Is it Guitaro? I'm sorry. Oh no, Gekido. No, Gekido, Kataro's Revenge. I picked that up on Switch. It's like a GBA game that they brought to Switch. It's a 2D beat 'em up. It looks very good in action, but I started playing it, and boy, that game has problems. There was one part that I beat all the enemies, and it wouldn't let me go to the next section. Like it kind of crashed or froze on itself, and I'm like, what the heck? This is a first level. So I turned it off and restarted, and I got to do everything all over again. It's this one is not really, it's level based because it has 5 levels, but you go left to right and right to left. Like you explore different areas of it, and you attack enemies. What's the weird part about it though is that there's some bad hit detection. Like the enemies could hit you but you're not even like close to them. I'm like, what the heck? Like it's very weird. Like
so your character has an overinflated hitbox.
Yeah, because you want to punch him or you want to kick him, and if you get a close, like your distance is away from here, and somehow he could punch and just hit you, like you're not even close to him. I'm just like, whoa, that's weird. So I picked that up. I'm gonna try to beat it, try to play in it because I love beat 'em ups, and hopefully I can enjoy it. And hopefully that problem that I have with it, with it not letting me progress, and hope that got fixed or something. With that, I did pick up Blossom Tail for Switch, so I'm gonna start that.
Yes.
On the last area of Bayonetta, so I'm like on this jet. And because I just did like the going back in the past and finding out some things, so now I'm just like a level and a half before I beat that game on Switch, and then I'll be done with it. I didn't play nothing for a PS4, but on Xbox, been trying to get into Ori and the Blind Forest, and I have like major concerns. And me and Larry, we talked about this.
Yeah, we discussed some of this last week. I'm curious to see if you've progressed any further.
I progressed further, but I think now it's just become very problematic, very less enjoyable in a sense.
How far in are you?
I'm at the Forlorn Ruins. So it's when you're picking up that ball and it's kind of gravity based because it's protecting you.
Yes, I love that one. Okay.
The problem that I'm having with it is that the physics and controls are really bad because there's a part where because you're trying to go up, and there's a part that when you walk alongside this edge, it makes you fall, like the gravity changes without telling you for some apparent reason, and you got to go around the square and try to jump off of it and land on another square, but the placement is weird, and so it's just like doing that over and over and over again because of the physics being so bad and feeling sluggish. It's kind of like, I don't know. It didn't piss me off or anything, but I was getting frustrated and I had to cut it off. And I was enjoying Ori for what it is, and I think stuff like that needs to be fixed in Ori 2.
Well, the gravity. I'll give you some tips that hopefully will help with this section. Because, like I said, I loved that part. I thought it was clever as shit. Your gravity can only orient one of 4 ways: up, down, left, or right. That's it. And the gravity orientation will only change when you're walking along a curved corner.
Right, and I get that, but the thing about it is that they don't explain that part where when you're upside down, you could drop down low and continue to go right. And there's like some spikes. There's like 4 little bars that's right there, but they got that orange part on it, and you need your gravity. You need the protection because if you land on it, it's damaging.
It'll hurt.
Okay. Yeah. So when you're jumping over those 4, when you get to that last part and you have to walk up, it instead of making you feel like you need to go straight down from where you're at, it changes the physics where you're falling to the right and there's a possibility you're going to fall onto spikes and die. And there's nothing. And sometimes it's weird. You got to time your jump to fall on the block. And it doesn't teach you none of that. It doesn't explain to you that the physics of this game will change when you have this orb. All it just says, it protects you from the heat, or it protects you from the elements. So
and you get that explanation the minute you pick it up and you start walking along the wall.
But the thing about it is, when you're walking aside the wall, when you're going to the right side, that should have dropped you in a sense. Instead of when you do it the other way, that it makes you fall. It's just like the level design and the physics of it doesn't match. Where if I'm going one way, that's the same as the other way. Why am I not falling the other way, but I'm falling the opposite way? They're switching up the levels. It sounds weird, but when you play it or when you see that portion of the game, it doesn't explain that. So that design and that mechanic doesn't work so well because of some gameplay logic and just the physics is kind of broken in it. So I kind of got a little bit frustrated, and so decided to hold off on Ori and picked up Oxenfree and installed Quantum Break, and I'm gonna start that one. Getting through Oxenfree, and I'm finding this game way better than Ori at this time being. And I love the Scooby-Doo kind of narrative vibe that it's giving.
You might have just hit my problem with this. I've tried getting into Oxenfree repeatedly, and I always get about 30 minutes into playing it, and I just, for some reason, I've my standing theory is I just wasn't in the right headspace for it. You might have just hit my issue because I fucking hate Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo drives me up a wall.
Well, it has that camp kind of adventure for it. Hi, Lance.
Player 2 enters the game.
Apparently.
I'm enjoying the narrative and making the choices, and it looks like it's a game I'm going to replay and go back. I kind of like this old army feel, and when you see something red, you just want to use your radio to see what happens to it. Right. What's going to announce it and stuff. So I mean, it's getting. I love mysteries. I've always been a person about a good mystery and stuff, and I'll probably be picking up your brother's book, Corey, because if it's a psychological thriller or something like that, I love reading books about like that. But I'm enjoying Oxenfree. I told many people that I need to play and I need to finish it, so I'm going to be working on that and Quantum Break later on when I get the chance. Played Sea of Thieves and fell asleep. I will admit I fell asleep. I was waiting. I enjoyed what I played with Corey and Jesse and Jesse's friend, and had fun. I kind of feel lost because there's not much that I could do. And normally when that happens, instead of yelling at Corey because he's dancing in front of me 15 million times.
Oh, come on. That was fun.
I kind of feel like Sea of Thieves is fun and it's going to be great entertainment, but there's not much to do for everybody. And I know, Jesse, you got a lot to say. This is coming from a new player who hasn't really had a chance to dive into anything because there's no single player in it. You're forced to play with other people. So when you're coming into something like that, you kind of wish that it had a tutorial or something that it could start you off to learn what the game is about to prepare you. And I know it's kind of like you're not supposed to know what's going on. Everybody has to work together to survive and to explore this adventurous world that's unknown to everybody. But I kind of find it like, and I don't know, we'll probably talk about this question on Arsenal X. Is Sea of Thieves trying to be Nintendo Splatoon? Where there's not much content, but you're still trying to figure out all the weapons and everything. How the level design and how the game goes. Like you're in this world, you just don't know what to do besides shoot paint. Where shooting your opponent doesn't really do nothing for you, but shooting the area does. And that's kind of how, I don't know if Microsoft and Rare is going with that with Sea of Thieves. Like the content in this game is going to build. The thing with Splatoon though is that it gave you a single player so you could understand the mechanics and learn how the game plays and moves. And I don't think Sea of Thieves does that so well at this time. I think if they would have gave you a single player tutorial on like how to do a ship, how to fix it and everything, instead of just kind of dropping you in, I think you probably would have be able to understand how the mechanics and how the game and what it's about goes. Not saying Sea of Thieves is bad or anything, because that's like I said, I enjoyed my time, but kind of wish that there was just maybe something to do for everybody, in a sense, for you to learn.
See, I know what you're. I know what you're getting at here. It feels like it's one of those things that you have to learn everything in the middle of a live fire exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Well, go ahead, Jesse. I know you just got something to say.
Well, I was just gonna say the thing is once you know what you're doing, then there is something for everyone to do. Like, you just kind of basically have to each take your own role. Like, one person look at the map, one person watch the front of the ship, one person, or the two people on the deck kind of take care of sails, and, like, you're constantly have to change the direction of the sails and stuff like that if you want to move at a fast pace, and then obviously one person steer the ship. So, I mean, there is something for everyone to constantly be doing, but it's just a matter of getting that stuff down to a point of where you don't have to think about it as much anymore. Like, I've been playing it long enough where I can practically run the whole entire ship by myself.
And you pretty much was.
Or aren't you fancy pants one man crew?
And I think that may have been one of the problems with this game in the beginning, is that this beta, the beta that they had, they locked people who want to play the game out. Like, we didn't. We didn't. I didn't know that.
That's what they should have had. Like,
they actually did. They actually did. It was the last couple of weekends. It was actually open. It was open. It was open for everyone. I just found that out. Yeah, I just found out. Because when I've read, because it was weird, because what from stuff that I read, that the beta was still closed to people who pre-order. It was still going on for people who pre-ordered the game or who was in the Inside Project. So I don't know. I found out they opened it that last weekend. It was an open beta.
It was open. Okay. Yeah. Why didn't Microsoft not make that public?
They did, but I think there was confusion everywhere else. I just went by word of mouth. You guys, like what you guys said, I didn't really look into it. I found out later that it was open. I'm like, crap, we could have been playing that weekend.
I went through Game I went through Game Informer and Destructoid, and everybody and all the reporting on it. They said that the beta was having another thing, but Microsoft never clarified that it was open. And I think that might have been a very big problem, that, okay, you gave an open beta for a game that's coming out in 4 days, and people won't have enough time in 4 days to play it. I mean, okay, I think that's when Kirby dropped, Kirby Star Allies dropped, they did the open beta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The demo.
So that's a big week for people who are Nintendo fans who want to get Kirby, and people who are enjoying that game. I think with Microsoft not clarifying that's a problem on their part. They should have at least updated a lot of the video game sites and say that, no, this is an open beta. Even on social media, I don't even think Microsoft. I think Microsoft said that the beta was live, but I don't think that they said it was open. So, that, to me, that's a problem. Like, even with Nintendo, when they did Splatoon, they gave you a time in the day and said that it was open. They made sure that you knew what was going on. And I think maybe if Microsoft would have did a close for the first time, but then open it up for everybody else, kind of almost like what Destiny 2 did, how PS4 owners got it first, and then everybody else got to play it like that Wednesday or something. I think Microsoft should have did that. Like, you guys, for the people who play in closed beta, could play it Wednesday, but Friday is open to all Xbox players.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's kind of what I've been playing, and I will like I said, I will get back into Ori and the Blind Forest. I just gotta find the mindset and the willpower to soldier onto that game, because I do want to beat it. I think I'm just having problems with that, with some, like I said, with some of this physics stuff. Like, it's just it's changing my expectation what I thought this game would be. And I think there's better Metroidvania style games than this, of course. And I think this one needs major improvements in the second one.
Well, it's definitely more platformer centric in terms of Metroidvania than it is combat.
Mm-hmm.
That it's kind of like whenever you have a Metroidvania, there's a little balancer, and this one has the slider definitely to the platform side away from the combat side.
I think if they was going to do it like that, I think this game needs to have like less spikes and pretty much, I don't know, they just need to make it more easier for people to get into, because that portion of the game probably got a lot of frustrating, and they need to explain some things better, you know. Maybe just like show an animal doing something, some kind of animation to be like, oh, okay, now I see what that's doing, like a little inside cutscene, and then go on with the game.
Eddie wants the return of the Idakuns and the Dechoras.
Whatever that is.
You don't remember the Idakuns and the Dechoras from Super Metroid?
No.
They were the little animals that showed you how to wall jump and how to speed boost.
Oh,
those were the Idakuns and the Dechoras.
I never caught their names.
It was, I believe, the names first came around from the strategy guide, but they also made a reappearance in Fusion.
Okay.
So
maybe I did have the Super Metroid guide. I think I just didn't learn the names and stuff or anything, because the guy wasn't. It was my cousin's game in his book, so I had just looked at it. So
right, but yeah, no, I could see something like that, and considering who's doing level design, we may very well see something like that on the second one. So, but in any case, so this week I have finally been digging into some PC stuff. I've been streaming bits of Journeyman Project Pegasus Prime, because I now have a fucking computer that can actually run my PC stuff without being a giant pain in the ass. So I've been streaming through some Pegasus Prime. Back on my Switch, I've been playing more Flint Hook. And after the Nindies showcase and the lack of news on Dead Cells, I broke down and I picked it up on PC, and oh my god, I've been playing so much Dead Cells. So, starting with Pegasus Prime, for the most part, it still holds up. There are a few things that have not aged well. I completely forgot that you cannot just mouse point to where you want to walk directionally, that it's all done with the arrow keys. So it definitely feels a little rigid in that regard. The other thing that kind of set me off was, compared to the original, because Pegasus Prime is a remake or a retelling, whenever you go back into a time zone, it starts all the events from scratch again. So, and I don't remember that being the case with the original. So whenever you mucked something up or you were hopping around, you had to start and redo all the puzzles in a given time zone anytime you jumped back in, rather than being able to pick up where you left off, which is more than a little frustrating. But other than that, I've only got one time zone left and I'm done. So that's probably going to get streamed out on, by the time this goes up, it'll have been yesterday. But I'm going to be uploading the archived streams to the NGR channel as well. So those should be going up on Tuesday probably as well. I'm going to make a little section for that somewhere. But in any case, Flint Hook is still grabbing my attention in all the right ways. I almost feel bad to say, though, that I put it down in a heartbeat as soon as I hooked up my controller to my PC and started playing Dead Cells. Dead Cells, as much as I love Metroid, Flint Hook, you would think Flint Hook would be the go-to for me for anything kind of roguelike Metroidvania-ish, with the fact that it's all ranged combat and grappling hooks. But man, Dead Cells just hits that itch the right way, and I think it's the fact that it has an abundance of close quarters combat mixed with the ranged combat as far as side-scroll Metroidvania goes. It's so good. The grind is just right. Visually, it looks gorgeous. That game has way more personality than it has any right to as well. That delightful little faceless, headless character is beautifully expressive in his animations. He'll sit there and, you'll click or you'll hit a button to try and open a door that won't open. And he'll sit there and beat on it, and then it won't open. He's like, meh. It's beautifully detailed. I love watching the gesturing expressions. I can't say facial because he has no face. It's just like a flame sticking out of his shirt collar. But it's so much fun. Every time I get my ass kicked, it's right back to one more run. Do it again. Do it again. Christ's sake, I was up till almost 2 a.m. playing last night. I could not stop. It was just spectacular. The music is amazing. Visually, just the color palette hits all the right marks for me. It's stunning. Absolutely worth it. And I know for a fact as soon as this game hits the Switch, my life is all over. That's it. Done. So it's coming. But like I said, I was just sad that we didn't get any news on dates on that or Hollow Knight out of the Nindies Direct.
Yeah, there was.
So
that Nindies Direct was like, I mean,
that was weird.
As excited as I am for a lot of those Nindies, like there were games missing, like King of Cards, the Shovel Knight expansion, Dead Cells, Hyper Light Drifter, which got announced like an hour after the Nindies Direct. Hollow Knight.
Like why the fuck would you not put that in there? Seriously.
Right. Well, like I said, I think Nintendo and those developers, they probably had their own agenda and what they was going to showcase. Like they probably wanted to show brand new games that nobody have heard of or seen, or anything like that. Hyper Light Drifter that could have got announced anytime. After the cancellation of the Wii U version, they were just like, well, we'll look into how Switch does. So, I mean, in Hollow Knight, their team said that they were going to be in the Nindies Direct. So, I mean, they made that statement. So, I think Nintendo just wanted to showcase some games no one hasn't heard of. And then some of them are exclusive to Switch, and some of them are coming out first for Switch. So
I'm telling you that should have, for every new Nindie they announced in that showcase, there should have been a date for one that was already announced. That would have been, I think, a better balanced.
Well, I think the thing about it is that there's so many indie games that's coming to Switch that don't even have dates that's been announced a couple of months ago, a couple of weeks ago that just don't have dates, and I think that's more of the developer telling Nintendo, we don't have a date yet, but we're working on the game to get it ready to be on Switch. So the developers should have supplied Nintendo with the dates.
Yeah, which, by the way, really kind of irked with Team Cherry at the moment. Because, they said up front that, yes, we're not going to be showing, Hollow Knight's not going to be in the Nindies showcase. Fine. They also said, we've got more news regarding a Switch release date coming later this week. And then on Saturday, they finally tweet out, yeah, so we don't have a release date yet. Really? You could have just told me at this point we still don't have a release date? You had to announce a non-announcement? What the fuck? Dumbest thing ever.
I think that'll probably be out this fall. Not this fall, this summer.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, they need to get on top of it. The more their Twitter, oh my God, seriously, you want to see Scowl and Scorn, go check out their Twitter. Holy shit. Like, at least 30% of all the replies to that post was, yeah, I don't care anymore. Screw it, whatever.
With
like,
that Saturday post?
People are checking out, yeah. Well, the Saturday post and the Monday post. Like, people are checking out. They're going, fuck it, it's taking too long. I stopped caring.
But isn't Team Cherry like a small team?
It might be, but I mean, I think part of the other thing that irked me just a little bit was the fact that in that same post on Saturday, not only were they saying, yeah, we have no Switch release date, after saying at the beginning of the week, we're going to have news on a release date for you later this week. And their news is we don't have one, which seriously, why couldn't you have just fucking told me that on Monday and, kept me from getting all worked up and ready for a date. But on top of that going, and here's new info on the next expansion piece. Like,
it just sounds like bad communication. They probably thought that they had something, and then when they finally asked who they needed to ask, found out they didn't have anything and opened their mouth too soon.
Yeah. I don't know what the internal politics were there, but man, that did not come off well for them. So, but that being said, I've not lost the interest. I'm still on board. I fucking want Hollow Knight on my Switch. I know at this point I'm now officially double dipping on Dead Cells because I couldn't wait for it on Switch. I'm really hoping that Dead Cells gives me enough to hold off on so I don't end up having to double dip on Hollow Knight.
Well, I wonder how long Hollow Knight took to even get on PC, to get on Steam. I wonder how long that game's been in development. I'm like, because, I mean, they're doing a port. It's a port, but I don't know if that game is running on Unity or a whole different engine. And so they probably wanted to give, and this is just me, I think they wanted to give it a date, but there might just be bugs that they're trying to fix and glitches and stuff. Like, game development is not easy, and I think they were happy to give a date, and maybe throughout that week they might have came into a bug that just hurt the game, and so now they got to take back that announcement of a game date release. So
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's an easy thing, but I think they could do with a little better PR community management.
Yeah,
that's a big sticking point. Like, seriously, if you stay communicative, it's not nearly as bad.
I think if they would have just came out and apologized and be like, we were planning to announce something, but unfortunately we're not able to say anything at this moment. We do apologize. We wish that we could fix some things. And I would have did like this. Make the apology and offer everybody, hey, here's a free desktop that you guys could download. Like some exclusive art or something, to make up something, a little cute freebie or something. That I think that would have been like kind of cool or something, or like get a free, listen to a free soundtrack or download a free track that's coming from the game for Nintendo Switch. Probably just did something to make up for that announcement, because. Who knows what could have happened from that announcement to what happened during that week while they're fixing the game or making the game.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it and go, it is what it is, but it doesn't make it any less frustrating.
Hey, people still want the stuff from Shovel Knight, and you see how Yacht Club is not saying nothing.
Yeah, so that's another one too. I'm surprised there wasn't a lot more up in arms about that. I can only attribute that at this point possibly to the fact that at least Shovel Knight and Plague Knight and Spectre Knight are at least already on the system. There's something there to play. Yes, we want the expansion, but at least we have the root game and then some to play.
The other thing, Larry, that you and I talked about, and I know Ed disagrees with us, but like the only thing,
when does he not?
No, I'm not I wasn't trying to be mean about it. I'm just saying, like.
I'm just razzing him. I'm not trying to shit on him. I was just giving him grief.
Like, I think maybe Shovel Knight wants to have their own announcement of that expansion and then a physical release. Type thing.
Well, my argument about that was that they weren't going to show that something like that in this Nindies showcase, because Shovel Knight is such a big game now that if they were going to announce it in some kind of Nintendo Direct, Nintendo is going to give them a spotlight to do it. I don't think this 10-minute presentation would have been fair or even respectable to Yacht Club to just show something like that and then move on from it. Yeah. You know, they want to treat Shovel Knight like it's a AAA game, because in a way it is. Yeah. You know, it's a big franchise, and if you're gonna do it right, you want to do it the right way. Yeah. Yeah. And that was just my argument for it.
Yeah, and I mean, you were right. Like, I mean, as far as we know, like, you were right. The Shovel Knight was bigger than what they wanted to show off in the Nindies, because Shovel Knight's a known product now. Like, it doesn't need any promotion, right? It's just that studio does well enough to where, like, hey, if they want to have their own little video thing or Twitter announcement or just like a 5-minute video somewhere, they can do that, and everybody will go nuts.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm waiting for.
Mm-hmm.
I want a physical copy.
And I think if they
that
do
shit's
that,
the only reason I'm not playing Owlboy right now.
Well, you know what the thing with Shovel Knight is, E3 would be the way to go. Give that E3 spotlight for them, the physical, the King's DLC, the a collection pack, with all the Amiibo release day. Like, give Shovel Knight that good 7 minutes at E3, because that's going to be the highlight that everybody is going to expect and want to see.
You're assuming they don't crank it out before then, though.
Yeah.
True. Very true. That is true. But I would just expect a game that big would be shown at E3 or some kind of Nintendo Direct.
Yeah. Side note related, by the way, one of the greatest things ever is the commercial they did for the Amiibo 3-pack for the Shovel Knight Amiibo. That shit was awesome. The fact that he couldn't keep a straight face by the end of that commercial was the best thing ever. And if you haven't seen it, go watch it. I will throw a link to it in the show description. It's amazing. So, it's just... Nah, I'm not even going to ruin it. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's epic. But in any case... but yeah, that Nindies showcase was definitely a... I don't know if... I don't know if it's right to call it an oddball anymore so much as just not what we all hoped for. So, I think maybe we all walked into it with our own expectation or hopes of what it should be and translated that into expectation. And I don't know.
I wanted to what they was going to show. And that's why I think that's why I probably enjoyed it more, because it's stuff that there's a lot of games on there that interest me. There's a lot of games that haven't been announced or even heard of, and I'm excited about that. Me and Corey talk about this on Podblock, that almost every day there's some new indie game getting announced through press, or there's some port of that indie. So it's not a to me personally, it wasn't a bad showcase. It was just something that, wow, that's something I haven't heard. Okay, in action, in motion, this looks good. Oh, this is up my like The Messenger. That game looks amazing, and I want that. The music game, shoot 'em up one. Like
Just Beats and Shapes.
Yes, that's on my radar. A must have. And even though there was some stuff that me and Larry didn't like really care about or something, it was good that they got that showcase, because maybe that's a new developer and they need that light to be like, oh, that's piqued my interest. I'll look into that, or I'll wait for a demo or something. You know, that I think that's what that Nindies showcase was supposed to show. Because we'll probably get a fall one and stuff, but I enjoyed it for what it is and what they went about. I think to me, I personally would have been disappointed if it was just all ports of old indie games that's been on Xbox One, Steam, and PlayStation 4. I would have been pissed off. It's to be like, oh, you really could have just announced that or do a letter or something, or do a tweet. Like, why am I getting all these old ports and stuff? But they didn't do that. They wanted to highlight these new games that's coming to the system.
Yeah, and I think I'm kind of the same way. I enjoyed it for what it was. Like, I was a little underwhelmed only because a lot of it wasn't really for me, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't that any of it was bad. It just didn't pique my interest. I mean, I was glad to see Lightfall, make it on there because I've been watching for that game for a while now. But I mean, yeah, there was, I'd say probably about 50-50, like half of the games they showed that I was interested in, and the other half, were just whatever. But again, that's just my opinion. It's, someone else could have watched it and like the other half of the game. So,
because we all can agree that we're confused about that Choose Your Own Adventure, King's Quest, or whatever that King thing was.
Yeah,
I still don't know what it was.
Yeah, Rain.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what that game was about, but
I'm still baffled.
Yeah, I'm just like my. And I've talked with you, Larry, on Facebook about this. I'm just gonna be glad to see more like new age, like side-scrolling games. Because as much as I love the the old school like 8-bit, 16-bit, whatever side-scrolling games, it's just like the market is kind of, it feels like it's getting just over flooded with just that, and it's like, I'd like to see some more games like Dead Cells and stuff like that, where because Dead Cells has amazing artwork, I want more of that. I want more of like the Ori and the Blind Forest style, like looking side-scrolling games and stuff like that.
I think we're due for a new Rayman too. On that note,
yeah, true.
What's it gonna be
that
called?
would be
It was Rayman Origins, Rayman Legends.
Yep.
Rayman's Galaxy.
Rayman.
I would say bring me Rayman Universe.
Rayman Legacy.
There you go.
Huh?
No, that sounds like a collection of old Rayman games.
I would totally buy the
collection of
out of that
Rayman
too.
games.
You know what?
Eddie has no limbs; he just has floating hands and feet.
You know what? Don't get 15 tacos thrown at you.
Thrown at me, I'll catch them and throw them in my mouth.
You know when I come up there, you know what I'm gonna do to you when I come there.
That reminds me, Eddie. Stopped for Porta Pit for lunch yesterday.
Nice.
Magic. But in any case, yeah. No, I would totally fucking buy a compilation of old Rayman games. Give me like 1, 2, and 3 on a disc or on a cartridge. Yep.
And that's why that like a Rayman Legacy. That's what that sounds like. Of 1, 2, and 3.
I'm okay with that.
I was actually going to pick up for Dreamcast the other day, but some of those are a little pricey, though. Those original Rayman games for Dreamcast are like $30-$40 a piece.
I have Rayman 3
for
Dreamcast, so you can have it.
Do you?
I'll just send you
nice.
that microphone I haven't sent yet.
Nice.
Yeah, I got my Elton John mic here.
Hold me closer, tiny dancer.
That's a shame that you know something like that. Let's continue to move on this podcast.
No, it's not Tiny Dancer. It's Tony Danza.
That's right. I will totally stop this show though and give him the spotlight if he starts singing Crocodile Rock.
What the heck is Crocodile Rock?
What?
It's one of Elton John's songs.
I don't know what that song is either.
You white people. I swear you white people.
It's that one that it's
White
one of those that sounds
music.
the most childish.
Right. Freaking white people.
Can't stand them.
Is it Corey?
All you white people look alike to me.
Not to offend these two, but like they lost their redneck sensibility when they both know what the Elton John song is. I'm like, Elton John is like super white. When y'all a little bit redneck.
He's also gay. That's also the take.
Yeah, I was gonna say
he's British.
I'm talking about you two being rednecks, jumping out your redneck abilities to become white.
I don't know if rednecks would be listening to Elton John in their.
But
Yeah,
when,
that's
when you know his song, that gives a question. Oh, rednecks would listen to some country or some drinking, slugging song about somebody.
Go listen to Yellow Brick Road.
I heard of them. Oh.
And then talk about it later. It's a good album.
Oh wow!
But yeah,
which I never heard of none of Elton John's albums. All I would know is Circle of Life that he did for the Lion King, and pretty much he's famous.
All right, so reining it back in, one of the other tidbits that came around, I'm almost positive it was this week, unless I've just lost my mind and all my days are melting together, which I've not ruled out of a possibility yet, is that with all the just obscene amounts of content coming to the Switch, Nintendo's saying that they're looking at redoing the layout for the eShop on Switch. I'm curious, what would you guys want to see change? How would you want it laid out?
Nintendo first
genre.
Party, Nindies, third-party games, genre, virtual console.
I think I'm close to you on that thought. I would modify that a little bit, but I think you and I are close.
I think I know like the Wii Shop channel is like really outdated and whatever. RIP
Yeah.
that, by the way. Last day was like yesterday that you could add money to it.
Yeah.
But like I want it simplified like that. You go by like, okay, so when they add virtual console, this will just be like an easy way to do it. Okay, Switch games, then you list it by console, like GameCube, N64, Wii, whatever. And then like once you get in there, you can go like, you can have like some categories that are like top games on the Switch, top Nindies, whatever, and then underneath that you can be like, okay, by genre or by alphabetical order, and they better be in alphabetical order. Jeez, that Wii U eShop was just
Jake.
Oh man, it gave me cringe, man. I was just like, fix it, just yeah.
Jake.
Do any of the systems like actually let you search by a developer?
No.
Because I think that would be kind of cool if they would do that, like have it where you can actually search by a developer name.
Yeah. Actually, I think the original we let you search by publisher
or publisher.
Yeah.
Publisher, developer. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that would be kind of cool if they did that.
Yeah, because if you go to the search engine, you have to put in that publisher or something, and then all these other names might come up. So if you put like Square, any video game title that has Square in it is gonna end up popping up. Then I go and just all go to Square Enix or anything like that.
Okay. Yeah, that would be kind of cool if they did something like that.
Yeah.
Jesse, what about you? What would you want to see layout wise for this thing?
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page as you guys. I mean, I just mainly would be nice to have it like, more options for how to find games.
Yeah.
Like just better options, cuz right now it's like, I mean, I guess technically they have a lot of games, but at the same time they don't. So it's not like awful to go backwards and look at all the games that have been released. But I do think that definitely like splitting it up like in indie games and first party or AAA games, and kind of letting you choose that way would be kind of neat too. Just having it kind of break it down. Maybe games that shouldn't even be on this game or on this system have its own section.
Right. Here's the bottom of the barrel. It's on here just because we could.
I forgot about this, but I tried the demo for that game called Deep Sea.
Okay.
It is the biggest piece of shit I've ever played.
You say that, but have you downloaded Vroom in the Night Sky yet?
No, but like
that game has a vision, okay?
Yeah, that's the one with that's the one with the witch or whatever, right?
I think Corey's the first person outside of the people that made it to defend that game, and I'm not even sure the people that made it were defending it.
But I think that game sold a little bit because even though it looks bad and it might be terrible, people are interested in getting games like that just to make fun of it. But the only one who's laughing is the developer because they're getting your money. Exactly.
Yeah. I'm sure.
I'd be curious to see what that game actually sold.
Trust me, I'm sure you'd agree with me though. Go try the demo for that Deep Sea. It looks like something that someone made on their DOS computer. Like it's literally it's bad.
Is it like room floor cut from like Steam Greenlight or something like that? Bad.
I don't know. It's like I said, it's like literally as basic as you can get. It's neon like bricks and plants and stuff, and you're underwater, and all you can do is jump, and then you get like a harpoon gun at some point, and you can shoot at things and jump, and that's about it. And you just gotta fall, jump. It's a platformer at its the most basic that you can possibly get. Like it's so bad, and like it just gets to the point of like why the hell am I even trying this? Like there's nothing. It gives you absolutely nothing. It's so bad. I don't know. It's one of those games that someone just
it's too basic.
Yeah, it's bad.
So, and Eddie, what about you? What would you want to see in the eShop overhaul redesign?
I'd like to see like price ranges. Like you could choose games that's in a certain price range if you want to. I think they need a better section for demos to actually like if you switch on it, they just have demos, and games that do have a demo you can easily go to.
Yeah.
Because that's like very hard to find out. Oh, this game actually have a demo I could download, and you wouldn't even know.
There is a search filter for that, but yes, it should have its own fucking section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like the pre-play, the pre-purchase, like the pre-buys,
preloads. Like
yeah. I do like that. I think it would be good that if you do it, you get 10% extra for your coins, for your Nintendo Switch coins, or your My Nintendo points, I should say.
Right.
You'll get like 10% extra. I think
some
that would
kind
be
of
cool.
bonus.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. Last but not least, I kind of would like to have different like themes for the month or for the week of that release, where it's a Metroid thing on the outside that you could look, and they're highlighting a lot of Metroid games or something like that. To go along, let's just say Metroid Prime 4 is coming along, so games in that nature. If you want first person action or first person adventure, like right. You'll see like this nice cool design for Metroid. And then indie games that go along with it, or something like with Doom could be a part of it because it's a first-person action that takes place in space or
right.
in hell.
Something that's curated, basically.
Yeah, and probably also when they're celebrating an anniversary of a game, that it drops on that day for eShop and be like, here go the past why people are familiar with this character or with this franchise, and you guys now can play. And if you do purchase it, save an extra 10% off on these games. Like they have some sales and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I would like to see.
So like, are you talking like do a thing that says like a year ago today this game was released, and then just kind of bring it back to the front, you know? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and like let's just say the year Luigi comes back, where here go Luigi's Mansion, and this is the adventures that he went with Mario Brothers. And if you get these Get Pass games, you get 10% off, you know, for these games, and understand why it's the year Luigi or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm completely with you with the whole demo thing, having a demo section. Mm-hmm. Xbox needs to do that too.
Yeah, I mean, I like that they've got the games on sale section, which at this point has never been so bloated that I don't think it needs anything more than what it is there. But yeah, a demo section, I would love to see, to be able to split it out by, here are things that you can get in the store, like these all have retail releases, and here is digital only. I would love to see that split out, maybe not necessarily by default, but to have that option, tiered as well. Like, you know, here's the big AAA stuff, you know, it coming at like the $60 price point. Here's the kind of that middle of the road, like $20 to $40, you know, bigger game. And here's our top tier indies, our featured indies, and here's everything else. Give me like that 4 category breakdown. So, because there are times where that's the mental state that I'm in is, you know, I want to play a big budget game. I want to play top tier AAA, you know, high polish release. And there's other times where I'm like, I want to play something weird, totally fucking off the radar shit that I've never heard. Let's go rummaging through the basket and see what's down there. So, because I you know, you'll find good stuff, but you know for a fact that you're gonna have to rifle through a bunch of crap to find it. But it makes it all the better when you do. So, but you know, at this point, there are those indie studios that have established themselves enough to go, they should be standing out. You know, Yacht Club is obviously one of them. Oh God, at this point, I hate to say it, but as much as their PR department now irks me, but you know, Team Cherry has gotten enough traction with Hollow Knight. Everywhere else that, you know, when that comes out, that should be a big standout. You know, that's, and so on down the line. But Lumines would be another one, I think, too, that should be a standout there. But in any case, there's a lot of things I want to see out of it. I want to see Virtual Console finally, but that's a dead horse, I think, at this point, honestly. I would love to have it, but at this point, I don't think that I'm atrociously sad that it's missing. I've got so much shit to play on my Switch that I don't know what to do with it all. So I'm just not upset that it's not there anymore. But in any case, I think we should probably wrap this before we get way too long in the tooth. Just a minor note of housekeeping, as some of you may have noticed that the show has been slipping from the Monday slot due to some changes in editing to try and polish it up a little more and do a better job with that rather than slapdashing it. So we are officially moving the drop date for World 1-1 out to Tuesday. That gives me all of Monday to work it through, and then it also lines up with the show popping up on the NGR YouTube channel as well. Additionally, we did just start and we want you guys to come back and tune in and check it out on the NGR YouTube channel. Come scope out Minus World. It's our new book club style show. We are, for the first game, working through Portal 1. we're breaking it into two parts. So the first section is test chambers 1 through 18. We're going to be recording the day that this show goes up. We'll be recording the recap of section 1 of Portal, and then that'll be up and available to watch on Friday. And for section 2, if you're already caught up and you want to keep going, is going to be test chamber 19 to the end of the game. So, but we love to hear your comments and thoughts and feedback. Make sure you drop them on the
make sure you tell me how dumb I am.
But yeah, drop the comments and questions and feedback on the Minus World video on YouTube. For anybody listening to the audio version of this show and you want to check out Minus World, make sure you get to the NGR YouTube channel. This is a new YouTube video only production that we are doing, so there is no audio only addition to this out there. So just so that you are aware and you know where you can find your squeaky new content. Other than that, there's always the usual, find us at our home on Shout Engine, NGR channel on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play Music. We've got the Twitch stuff up and going again. Like I said, I've been streaming some PC stuff. I'm just getting ready to wrap up Pegasus Prime, and then I think we'll be jumping into Journeyman Project 2, Buried in Time. And when I'm not on, we're always running through the archives, so you can always catch up on an old episode or two if you just want to pop something up on the background to listen to. Other than that, Corey's relative has a new book out. Make sure you check that shit out. Eddie is the biggest podcast whore. He's on half the shows on the internet. Go listen to.
Oh, okay. He froze. Right. Just want to let everybody know, when you guys see this, the new episode of Extra Jump podcast is up. I am co-hosting with Ryder Sweat. It's a PlayStation podcast. He allowed me to guest host on his show, so you guys can check that out on Extra Jump on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, and other podcast apps. So guys, do check that out. You can catch Corey at
you can find me at CoreyHD on Twitter and Instagram, and NGR Radio, and a plethora of other shows, Nintendo Power Block, Arsenal X, and yeah, we've got a lot of stuff going on. So
you can find Jesse at.
You can find me on Twitter at @sub_humanist.
All right, is Larry back?
I don't know.
I'm
Larry
here.
Back? Hey, Larry.
I have no idea what the hell happened. It literally just kicked me out of my own fucking call.
Wow.
So
that's Skype for you.
Right. Fuck you, new Skype.
Well, with that, everybody, thank you for watching World War One podcast, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Peace.